Evening. I'm Nancy Grace. I want to thank you for being with us. Bombshell tonight, live, North Carolina. A 2-year-old little girl, completely dependent on 2 hearing aids, losing her left leg to childhood bone cancer, snatched from her own bedroom in the dark of night. At this hour, right now, police draining a pond in the search for little Zahra. This pond is adjacent to, next to, a late night search that went on into the wee hours last night at Daddy's former job site. This as a cell photo surfaces of Zahra with a black eye just weeks before she disappears.
Elisa Baker. Elisa Baker.
$72,000 bond.
Elisa Baker, a pink jumpsuit.
Zahra's stepmom.
She's been charged with obstruction of justice.
Felony of obstructing justice.
So many people failed her.
Now, a frantic search is on to find Zahra Baker.
We've got a large area to search.
The woods and the brush.
Lots of limbs and different debris.
Pretty rural out here.
Zahra's dad, Adam Baker.
He seems concerned.
Her dad, Adam Baker.
I don't know how sincere his concern is.
Watched last night as crews searched.
We don't believe that.
I don't.
This little girl is either missing or dead.
Get punished. My guy. Thanking her.
How she's being treated, this is gonna happen.
And nobody did a thing. Straight out to Natisha Lance. She is standing by there at the pond draining site. Natisha, what do you see?
Well, Nancy, just moments before we went to air, we received word that there were sheriff's deputies as well as fire trucks that were rushing to this scene. And once we arrived on the scene, we are able to confirm that police are draining this pond that is adjacent to the area that they searched just yesterday into the early morning hours this morning. Now, there's several sheriff's officers who are around this area. They're using large firemen, police hoses in order to drain this pond. They said that they will be out there as long as it takes. Police have told us already that they are searching for a body. Now, as we have been here, more sheriff's officers have arrived on the scene. They are using flashlights. At one point, they had blocked our view from being able to see what was going on at the pond. Choppers have been overhead trying to get as much visual as we can see at this point. But again, they will be here as long as it takes in order to find what they need, Nancy.
Okay, Natisha Lance, how do you know they're draining the pond? What equipment have you seen? Have you seen the hoses? How are they draining it?
They are draining it using the large fireman hoses. I have seen several firemen who are around that area, also deputies with the sheriff's office. There are also people out there with fatigues. I believe that they are with the SWAT team, but we don't have confirmation on that at this point. They are using flashlights to walk around the area as well. Now, let me tell you about this area. It's a large clearing, Nancy. Can't tell how big the pond is, but speaking to neighbors, there are several ponds in this area, and this area, according to another neighbor, is about 6 acres. Now, again, police were led to this area initially because Adam Baker, the father of Zahra Baker, has equipment that he keeps on this land. And now they searched a wood chipper. We have heard reports that cadaver dogs hit on that wood chipper in the previous searches that they did. Also, a foreman who worked with Adam Baker lives very close by this search area, and it is believed that Adam Baker was on that property not around the time that they believe Zahra may have disappeared.
Okay, Natisha Lance standing by at the pond that is being drained right now as we go to air. Natisha, did I hear you correctly say they are looking for Zahra's body?
That's correct, Nancy. We actually spoke to the sheriff of Burke County who is organizing this search. We spoke to him yesterday, and he said that they are looking for a human body. They have not deviated from that. This whole search, the whole crux of the search in this area is to find Zahra's body.
Everybody, you are seeing video of the search of the pond. Now, take a look at this pond. It is adjacent to a densely wooded area where Zahra's father, her biological father, it was his former work site. He has stored equipment there. He is a landscaper, a tree trimmer. There you see they have now lit up the scene. Take a look at the scene on the right. They are working through the night, draining this pond. And let me tell you something, out to you, Mark Class, president and founder of Class Kids Foundation. You don't set up a nighttime search, which is not an easy thing to do. A night search in water is very, very hard to do unless you think you've got something.
This is such an incredibly heartbreaking story, and I think we have to be much less willing to give the benefit of the doubt to the father at this point. He certainly doesn't seem to have cleared himself. Questions are being raised about him, and this whole business of the stepmother having written the ransom note to deviate away from what actually happened, I think is probably the biggest red flag I've seen in this situation yet. Unless she is responsible for the disappearance of this girl, there's no logic in the world that I can see why she would have written a ransom note.
Well, Mark Glass, in your original vein of thought, we heard so many stories last night. And throughout the days that we've been covering this, people are coming out of the woodworks. I might add a day late and $1 short. Where were they when the little girl needed them in life? But now they're all coming out talking about how the stepmom has made her life hell. Where was Daddy? Daddy was at home. He wasn't gone all the time. If he stood by and let this happen, much less take part in it, he is just as guilty as the killer. And let me point out that Zahra's stepmother has not been named a suspect in this case. We are taking your calls. Monica in Indiana. Hi, Monica.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, dear. What's your question?
Well, my question is, I worked at an orthopedic hospital, and I'm next to positive that you could not send a prosthetic leg through a wood chipper because of the type of plastic and the titanium that's in it. Could they be draining that pond looking for her leg?
Monica in Indiana. That is incredibly insightful. Take a look at this shot there. We got off of MySpace. Thank you, Dana. Take a look at Zahra's left leg. The little thing has fought not only child bone cancer, but a recurrence of lung cancer, according to our sources. And if you'll notice, in every picture, this little girl is smiling. Every picture. I'm going to go out now to Howard Oliver, former deputy medical examiner, forensic pathologist, joining us out of L.A. I think Monica's onto something. What about it? What are these prosthetic legs made of?
Like she said, the legs are made out of titanium, and a wood chipper could not possibly grind that up, or the plastic either. The grinding the body up, however, would leave so much evidence, you'd have to practically destroy the wood chipper to get rid of the evidence.
To Ellie Josted,
not likely that he used it.
Our chief editorial producer. Ellie, what do we know about the wood chipper? It's my understanding that dogs, canines, hit on around the family cars and on Daddy's wood chipper. Explain to me and the audience, why does Daddy need a wood chipper, an industrial wood chipper?
Well, Nancy, what they're saying is actually it was the wood chipper on this property that's being searched that the dogs hit on. But you're exactly right about the cars. They said both family cars the dogs hit on.
A frantic search is on.
We've got a large area to search
to find Zahra Baker.
Cancer patient.
Hearing aid. Lost her leg.
Is now being investigated as a homicide.
Homicide. Murder case.
Elisa Baker.
Stepmom admitted she wrote a ransom note.
Now her stepmom has been charged with interfering in the case.